Golf Pick'em Expert Picks. Brought to you by FootJoy.
The 2020 PGA Tour season may be over, but the 2020 Pick'em season continues. With Nick Menta, I'm Will Gray. Nick, we're talking about the U.S. Open, and as always, we're making picks in the NBC Sports Predictor app, 7 head-to-head matchups, plus a tournament winner and a score. Big event this week at Winged Foot, and I want to start with a big matchup. Fresh off his FedEx Cup victory, Dustin Johnson against another former world number one, Rory McIlroy. Which way are you leaning?
You know, Dustin Johnson isn't the world number one by some mathematical fluke. He is the hottest player on the planet. And while the narrative, understandably, through the playoffs focused on just what he did in the postseason, the runaway in Boston, the playoff loss at the BMW, and finally that FedEx Cup win, we've almost overlooked the fact that this guy held the 54-hole lead at the PGA Championship last month. You know, look, he's the hottest player in the world. Rory's been distracted all summer. Understandably, he's now at home with his firstborn child. This is an easy matchup given the way their summers have unfolded. I'm taking Dustin Johnson.
I don't know how easy it is, but I'm with you. I'm going to go with DJ because not only you mentioned how hot he is right now, but he's also probably the best U.S. Open player of the last decade. I mean, yeah. T4 or better 4 times since 2014, including that win at Winged Foot. It was tough, or at Oakmont. It was tough at Oakmont. It's going to be tough at Winged Foot. So I certainly think that his game could travel, as they say, this week. Rory, T9 last year at Pebble Beach. That was the first time in 4 years he had made the cut at the U.S. Open. Certainly his 2011 victory at Congressional was in a little bit of different setup and conditions. So I'm with you. I don't know that it's quite as easy as you're making it out to be, but we're coming to the same conclusion. We're going to take DJ. The next matchup to discuss, the defending champ, Gary Woodland, who won last year in memorable fashion at Pebble Beach, against Xander Schauffele, coming off his gross title at East Lake. Did not quite net the FedEx Cup. Nick, which way are you going?
All summer, we predicted Xander Schauffele to break through and finally win. And yes, he did post the lowest 72-hole score of the week at East Lake. Didn't win him anything, but he's still number one in my heart. Yes, Dustin Johnson is going to be the favorite at this event for obvious reasons. But do remember that Xander Schauffele has 6 top 10 finishes and 12 major starts. He racked up 7 straight top 25s this summer heading into East Lake. And in his U.S. Open career in 3 starts, T5, T6, T3. Xander isn't just a viable pick in this matchup with Gary Woodland. He's a viable pick to win.
Listen, this is basically turning into a Xander appreciation segment, which is fine by me. We've been there for a few weeks. So I'm totally with you. I'm taking Xander as well. You mentioned his stout record in this event. His recent form is well documented. Gary Woodland hasn't really done that much over the last couple of weeks. Only 1 top 20 finish in his last 8 starts. Doesn't quite have the same level of energy and performance since the break. So all things being equal, I'm going to take Xander, but especially coming off his win that wasn't a win, I think that's definitely the way to go. A matchup between 2 of the top 3 players in the world, Jon Rahm, Justin Thomas. Who gets your vote, Nick?
Yeah, at first glance, I thought to myself, can you really go wrong in this matchup? But we do have to pick somebody. And
no one's got to win.
Since I do have to choose, here is my compelling case for Jon Rahm. In the 2 hardest events this summer, events on major championship caliber courses with major championship conditions, Jon Rahm won them both at Muirfield Village and Olympia Fields. He's already gotten an early look at Winged Foot. He's well aware of the challenge ahead, and I'll throw my chips on the guy who won the hardest events of the summer in conditions that were actually more difficult than what we saw at Harding Park. I'm taking Rahm.
Yeah, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take JT, and I will fully disclose that if Jon Rahm drives it like he did at Olympia Fields, he's going to make me look like a fool because he could absolutely win if he does that. But Justin Thomas, first on tour in strokes gained approach, first in strokes gained tee to green, second in total. If the putter is even lukewarm, I think pound for pound, he might be one of the top 2 or 3 guys to contend this week, even ahead of a guy with as much talent as Jon Rahm. So I will split this one with you. I'll take JT. Tiger Woods and Bryson DeChambeau. Nick, who's going to have a better week at Winged Foot?
Will someone, and I don't remember who it was, once wrote that Tiger Woods will never again win a U.S. Open. And I am inclined to agree. But he doesn't have to win. He just has to beat Bryson. And I think he could do that. Bryson led the PGA Tour in strokes gained off the tee, but he was 140th in driving accuracy. Bomb and gouge is not going to be a viable strategy at Winged Foot. And I could see Tiger strategically plotting his way around, playing small ball, finding fairways, leaving long approaches, and somehow backdooring a top 25 while never actually contending. Again, he doesn't have to win. He just has to beat Bryson. I'll take Tiger.
I think I do remember the column you referenced, but we'll move on. I'm going to go the other way, shockingly. I'm going to take Bryson. It's inverse Bryson. I don't really know how to deal with this. He now doesn't play well in regular events, but he plays really well in the one major, a T4 at the PGA. That's the flip of the script versus what we're used to. This is going to be a hard course. I know that he's going to be spraying it a little bit off the tee, but I still think the bombing style that he's going to take it with is going to have some success, whereas I'm not convinced the Tiger's going to make the cut. I'm going to go even further now, get myself into a bigger hole. I think there's going to be a 75 or 76 looming in one of those two first rounds. I don't know if that's going to be enough for him to be able to overcome to make it to the weekend. Give me Bryson, who'll be there all 4 days. A matchup of two former U.S. Open champs, Webb Simpson and Justin Rose. Nick, who do you think has a better week?
Will, no one loves discussing Justin Rose's record on classic golf courses more than I. And I'm going to go out on the limb, and I'm going to take him in this matchup with Webb Simpson. Rose missed the cut in 3 straight events earlier this summer, only to contend and finish 9th at the PGA. This is more of a gut feeling than anything rooted in like rational analysis. But, you know, the form of the ball striking would lead you to take Webb. But if you're going to win this contest, sometimes you have to fade the field. And I'm taking Rose.
Thank you for making my case for me and then just going the opposite way. Webb
Sure.
Simpson, lowest scoring average last season on tour, 6th in strokes gained approach, 4th in strokes gained total. Justin Rose, 66th and 73rd in those two respective categories. That is a big gap. This is a no-brainer. Take Webb Simpson. The reigning PGA champ against a guy he used to play against in college. Collin Murakawa and Victor Hovland. Nick, which way are you leaning?
The brutal undersell of Mr. Victor Hovland. Look, Hovland is going to have a long and prosperous career in the PGA Tour, and I expect him to reach great heights. The difference is that Collin Morikawa has already reached those heights, and he is now in pursuit of his 4th tour title and his 2nd consecutive major win. I'll tell you, in any other matchup, I'd probably be picking Hovland. He hasn't missed a cut since the restart. He's 3 for 3 making it to the weekend in the majors he has played. But Morikawa is a legitimate favorite to win, and I am taking him with all due respect paid to our future Norwegian major winner.
Listen, as you mentioned, Hovland has been solid. I do think there's going to be an adjustment for Morikawa coming into this as the only major champion of 2020. But I'm with you. I'm going to go with Collin, who is 2nd on tour last season in strokes gained approach. Hovland is also good with the irons, but really struggles with scrambling and around the green. 168th in strokes gained around the green last season. You're going to have to scramble. You're going to have to get up and down from some crazy spots at wing foot. I don't know that Hovland can keep pace with Morikawa in that respect. I will give the PGA champ the edge. 14 years later, he's back at winged foot. Phil Mickelson in a matchup with Jordan Spieth. Nick, does he get it done this week?
No, and I'm going to pass on both of these. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. All right, look, if I got to take one, and I'm picking between two guys who tied for 71st at Harding Park, I'm going to take Spieth because I trust him to make the cut more than I trust Phil. This season, Spieth only missed the cut 3 times in 17 starts compared to Phil, who missed 7 of 16. And since winning for the last time at the Open, Spieth has played the weekend at 9 out of the last 10 majors. I don't expect him to contend. I do expect him to make the cut.
I'm with you in terms of this is a choice of who's going to be there on Sunday and not going home on Friday. I don't have a lot of fancy stats like you do to point to on this one. This is more of a gut feel. I just don't trust Phil going back to the site of his biggest disaster. I think Spieth is the safer pick of 2 risky options. All right, those are our picks for the 7 head-to-head matchups in the NBC Sports Predictor app. And Nick, as you know, we got to also choose a tournament winner. So look in that crystal ball. Who is going to win the 2nd major of the year come Sunday?
Well, I'm going to do a little bit of fan service here on my way out the door. And one last time, I'm going to ensure that at least one of us picks Xander Schauffele to win a golf tournament. This guy had 7 straight top 25s prior to East Lake, where he was, in fact, the gross winner with the low score of the week. In his U.S. Open career, he's been 6th or better in all 3 starts. And in his 4th attempt, he will leave winged foot the U.S. Open champion.
Oh, there you go. If he lifts that trophy, he's got you to thank for it. I've got him on my list. I'm going to go with Justin Thomas. We discussed him earlier. I really think he's one of the top 2 or 3 favorites. And if you look at the list of decorated guys with 1 major, Justin Thomas is the guy I have the most faith in and who's going to get to 3 or 4. In order to do that, he's going to have to get to 2. This is a course that I feel sets up to his strengths off the tee with the irons around the greens. I think that this could be the week that JT, after a 3-win season last season, could get a big major victory. So those are our picks. Remember, go onto the NBC Sports Predictor app, make your selections for the head-to-head matchups, pick a tournament winner and a tournament score, $1,000 in guaranteed prizes, $50,000 jackpot if you get a perfect score. I'm Will Gray. joined for the last time by Nick Menta, heading out the door from Golf Channel. Thanks for your service. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, even if Nick wins.
Golf Pick'em Expert Picks. Brought to you by FootJoy.